go. Very nice singing voice, I might. Yeah! Okay, so our second contestant is Jay Silverman. He's going to do a little stand-up for us, so give him a round of applause.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to start out by talking about a subject that's maybe a sensitive subject. It's a subject that we've all known about, but nobody's spoken about all week long, the stomach flu. Now, my gosh, I can't see, but I would sort of like to take a poll. If you're among the lucky people who did not get the flu, raise your hand. Yeah, great. Cool, me too. My wife too. You know, I understand about 90% of us did not get sick, which is great. And frankly, I think we owe a lot to the crew that cleaned and scrubbed and helped us all get us all through this. But what about if you're among the couple of hundred people, apparently, who did get it? My heart goes out to you. I'm sure you are struggling and in a lot of pain. You know, in the Greeks, you don't use that expression, my heart goes out to you. They use a somewhat different expression. So what I'd like to do, since our captain is Greek, convey sympathies the way he probably would if he were reporting from the bridge. And it probably would be something like this. Passengers who have suffered from the flu, I want to convey that my insides are pouring out in agony with you. Thank you. Captain from the bridge. You know, it's really been a fun cruise for me and my wife. We've had a wonderful time. But I've been noticing some things, folks. And I've been taking notes. So here's some observations. Just some things I've noticed. I've noticed that while some people have to take many years of university training and study to become knowledgeable about art, that if you're on a ship, apparently it is possible to become an art expert in 1 hour. I've noticed that for some reason a lot of people on this ship and other ships I've been to also just apparently like to stop in the middle of a hallway. I don't know why they do that, for what reason. I was actually behind a gentleman coming out of the theater. He had, 500 people behind him in a narrow hallway, and he decided that was the place to bend down and tie his shoes. Again, just something I noticed. Let's see. I learned that kick in the cock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, kick in the cock. Apparently, actually means something else in Estonia. I learned from a nice old Swedish man on a park bench, and this is actually true, at least according to him, but we had the conversation, that everyone in the world likes Sudoku, except the Germans. Something I found out. I learned that in Russia, when we were in Russia, in St. Petersburg, that the nobles were always plotting and scheming and assassinating each other to gain power and wealth and the throne. Apparently, about every 3 weeks, another Tsar was assassinated. Now, of course, I'm sure some of them deserved it. For every Peter the Great and Catherine the Great, there was an Ivan the Terrible, or an Ilyich the Idiot, or a Vladimir the only so-so. In Sweden, we learned about the Vasa. 400 years ago, I didn't know this before, but 400 years ago, Sweden was a big naval power, conquering countries all over the world, all through Europe. then they decided to build the biggest warship of all, the Vasa. And it was going to be so big and so frightening that as soon as anybody laid eyes on it, they were just going to give up. That would be it. They wouldn't even fight. So the day that set sail, 1628, the Vasa, they put the Vasa in the Vasa, and the Vasa keeled over and sunk into the Vasa. You know, the Swedes were so embarrassed by that incident that they asked Alfred Nobel to invent dynamite so they could blow up the whole fleet. And then Sweden got out of the war business altogether, and they've been a peaceful country ever since. Some other things I noticed. I noticed that Judith Egan, does that name ring a bell? Judith Egan was always the last one to come in back onto the ship in every port, all the time, every day. It was Judith Egan, please, report. So I'm trying to, you know, I'd like to know about this. And I don't know if Judith Egan is here. And, oh, yeah. Come on down. Judith? Where are you? Judith, come on down. We want to know why you were late. Every time. Are you coming?
Yeah.
No. You know, I actually was thinking that you probably wouldn't be here. I was going to ask our judge, our Second City Judge Erica, to come up and pretend to be Judith Egan. But I didn't. Yeah. All right, Judith, you owe us all an apology. All right. We were waiting and waiting. All right, now, something else. I run for exercise, and the jogging track is up on deck 13. You know, one thing I noticed is that some passengers are apparently just totally shocked and surprised to see someone jogging on the jogging track. I don't know why, but they are. And so if I'm coming around, even when I announce from behind, you know, passing on your left, please, you know, that kind of thing, they're still surprised. Now, if it's a couple, and if the man happens to hear me first, he